Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Thank you very much again. It's a great pleasure to be here in New Villaga. Very special place and very dear to Srila Prabhupada. I consider myself to be fortunate to be here with you. I just thought while we are here to we are doing some training on how we are doing Bhakti Vriksha. I thought I'd speak some realizations how this whole process actually uplifts me personally and how it helps many people all over the world. And true to the fact this moment is created by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can see that how it actually touches the people's heart in some or other way by giving something or in some return there's a special feeling in the joy of giving. All of us know we have many memories, experiences. Whenever we get something, when we receive something, we get gift, obviously. Is it okay? Thank you. So when we receive some gifts, we are very elated. It stays in our memory, and we also remember the people who actually gift us. This is something which is common human nature. Many times we receive, and we also, as we have some gratitude, we also think about the person who actually gives us. Of course, many times it's completely material, being in this material world. Many things which we use, we think, have some kind of timelines. What we receive and consider is great or good, it may not be good or nice. The same situation for another person. And even if so, if you receive some gifts, and we know it is only for a temporary period, till the time, and we know many versions come, so we are not satisfied. It's very for a temporary time period, and we just think, we talk about it, we just feel happy about it. But by the time you realize that you had something in your hand, by then something else comes up, and the gift what you received and the person gifted, it becomes less significant in your lives. As against something, if you look and we understand from the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, and he actually perfectly demonstrated the mood of what is joy of giving in a different plane altogether. And people can't even measure the kind of gratitude they have when we get this wonderful gift, which obviously the wonderful thing called Krishna consciousness. And as I said, this whole movement is created and demonstrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by giving. He gave his whole life, he renounced. And if you take Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita instruction to Arjuna. In many ways, if you see the whole parampara, the whole process of Krishna consciousness is always giving. And of course, as I said, we like to receive too. Because Arjuna received, he felt happy. And of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated, the Goswamis took it, and they received it, and they distributed it, they felt happy. So this whole process of giving, or joy of giving, is actually being very deep and very systematically, very nicely, naturally demonstrated by the Acharyas and the Lord. So what it means to us as devotees or aspiring devotees, that somehow we come in contact with this wonderful process. We receive it. Are we treasuring that what we receive? This is one question that we need to ask ourselves as devotees we practicing. So how do we actually treasure that? How do you feel that, what you receive, you're feeling happy about it? Sometimes we've been practicing Krishna consciousness for quite some time. But that, many people just say that, I don't feel happy about it. It's kind of, I just I have to do it, I just do it. If I don't do it, I know something may come back. So it's kind of a defensive mechanism where I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to, meet anything bad. So I just better start doing this and continue doing it. So we don't value sometimes what we have on our hand, which is Krishna consciousness. Now the moment you see what you receive, and the same thing if you actually give. We have Krishna consciousness in our own where we got this from some merciful Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Somebody brought us through Nagar Kirtan, book distribution, distributing prasad, association, small groups, many ways that we, some devotees mostly come touched and handed over this wonderful process to us. Of course, goes without saying, Srila Prabhupada's instructions in the form of wonderful scriptures. So, now how do we retain, how do we enhance this gift what we received, and how do we actually feel happy about it? And this is what actually touches my heart personally, because when we share this gift what we have received to people who don't even know about this, doesn't matter whether they speak the language, same language as what you do, but when you share the Krishna conscious in a way that people can relate and understand, and bring them and connect them to the process, and you can see that their life light up. And you can see that you see a new lease of life in you, because seeing that the process which you think it's worked and you've experienced happiness, and when you see some new people going through this happiness, it actually charges you up more. Yes, it's working, because we are as devotees constantly tested in many ways. And if you don't understand how this whole Krishna conscious process works, sometimes we get carried by our, challenges what we face. And we start, our priority changes. We become thankless sometimes. Say, I have to focus on my problem and fix my problem first, you see. So the focus is completely diverted to meditate more on the problems. While we understand the whole Krishna conscious process is that if you come in contact with Krishna consciousness, all your problems will perish. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what he's saying, that whatever you have, I preserve, what you lack, I'll give you, and so many warranties and guarantees is given. And on top of it, if you become my devotee, you have nothing to lose. Bhakta Pranashati, he's saying my devotee will never perish. But the question is that, are we actually consistently maintaining the title of being a devotee of the Lord? Which means that we need to treasure what we receive as a process, that we need to practice what we are committed. There are many times that we as devotees, if we actually do what we are expected to do, that itself is actually start giving us happiness. And the problem is that when we start meditating on our problems and challenges, and we fail to see what are the basic things what we need to do as devotees of the Lord, then there is an imbalance. So, one is the challenges what we face as devotees, other side that our Krishna conscious process, there is ups and downs. The only best way to actually relate and see that feel the joy of giving Krishna consciousness to many new souls who are ready and waiting. And when you see that how their life transforms, and see there is a new energy in you, because this is happening, and this person is completely transformed by just engaging Krishna service, and your faith in the whole process increases spontaneously. And we have seen this many number of times. This is what actually gives us energy. This is what gives us a kind of a commitment in Krishna conscious process. It doesn't matter whom you bring, whether the person, as I said, we were recently visiting China, and you know that China, there are many devotees take up this Krishna conscious process, and this simple, and they just don't understand who God is, and because they are from a different perspective, different background, different challenges altogether, but all they just have to do is just chant the holy names, and which anyone can do. And in a systematic way, just give this Krishna conscious process. They don't have any prior exposure to Krishna conscious process. But you see, when you see that their life has completely transformed in a short span of time, in front of your eyes, wow, yes, Lord is there, Mahaprabhu is there. Because that's what Mahaprabhu's prediction. He said every town and village, the glorious and holy name will be chanted. What are the best example you require to just be convinced about this whole philosophy? People don't even know who God is. And here or there, just jumping and dancing in ecstasy by just chanting the holy name of the Lord. And they very systematically understand that what is Krishna conscious principle and philosophy is all about. Because as they get involved and you see, their life transforms. And seeing this, you get new lease of life in your Krishna consciousness, irrespective of the fact how our Krishna conscious standings are. Still, we see that when devotees just enthusiastically participate in chanting, and not only that, because the best thing about them is that they're not seen, they're not experiencing something like this. What they do, just naturally, like how we sometimes receive, we want always receive. If somebody is giving gifts, yes, give me more, give me more, give me more. But how many of us are ready to give return? Are we giving? See, we get, we want to receive. The more you give, the more we give. This is Krishna conscious principle. And Krishna, that's what he's saying. If you give many devotees, they give many things. They give their life as a devotee, they give their time, they give their energy. Everything is a renunciation, it's a joy of giving. That's what I said in the beginning. Somebody is ready to give their time, somebody is giving their support, whatever they have, they're just giving some Lakshmi in the service of the Lord. Somebody requires some time because they are in some problem. They want some time, somebody to hear to their problems. They don't want solution. You have to give your time, which is invaluable. And just hear to their problem, and they feel, oh, my problem is solved. You don't have to give a solution many times. So, when you actually practically see render devotional service, and when they engage in Krishna consciousness, in this mode of giving and receiving, and you see this whole atmosphere, it is actually changes to become spiritual atmosphere. And that's what we actually see. And people, they don't have any prior experience of being devotees of the Lord and just take up this process. And once they realize that there is so much of happiness, they need not have to think that, I'm just experiencing, I need to wait for 10 more years so that I tell my friend. And immediately they say, I just like chanting, I just started chanting, and I went for this Nagar Kirtan, I went for this nice, interactive programs, and I felt so nice hearing about the Lord, about how one has to be Krishna conscious, and they just go share, and immediately their friends and relatives, they are transformed, and they see there's a new faith wave is created, and you see that many devotees are taking this process naturally. So, some point in time that we need to reflect as devotees, that what is it we are giving back? We receive. We receive Lord's blessings, we receive Guru's blessings, we receive Vaishnava's blessings. So what is that we are giving back? Because as devotees, we have two very important goals to achieve in our lives. As devotees, we as a personal goal that I ask in this lifetime, within this lifetime, that I just want to somehow go back home, back to God. This could be a common goal for devotees who understand the Krishna conscious principles. But simultaneously, that we are getting this wonderful opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. While we are on this journey, we are experiencing so much of bliss, happiness, yes, in the association of devotees, in the process. But what is it we are giving back for the society? That we are just taking so much advantage. So that's something which we need to see, we need to understand. The organization is taking care of by giving us Krishna consciousness as a process. But what is that we are giving back to the organization? Unless we understand this, that we just can't extend what we actually can give to others. many of you have different skills. Somebody's a nice Kirtanya. Somebody can do a nice Krishna conscious concert, bands, Nagar Kirtan, many things as Kirtanyas you can do. And people like nice music. Everyone likes music. So, nice transcendental music, they have a change of heart. And everybody likes to eat. We can just do one day, we can just take some time out and distribute prasad to some people, because we don't know what we can do. Anyway, Lord very easily will do. Because when you offer prasad, take that mercy back and just distribute to somebody, your friends and relatives, and see how their life transforms. And many ways we can actually take up this process of giving. The joy of giving is available to us. Are we actually tasting this joy of giving? This is the question we need to ask ourselves. Because many devotees, wonderful Vaishnava acharyas, they all lived and demonstrated their Krishna conscious standings by what way this joy of giving works. But we see, we hear, but sometimes it stops there. It doesn't actually get into practice. And when we actually get this going, then we see many millions of devotees who are just waiting, because Lord is actually, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I have actually executed whatever I want to. I'm just using it as a tool, is what Krishna says to Arjuna. Similarly, this wonderful movement, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually chosen all of us as devotees of the Lord. It's not by choice. Mahaprabhu has actually bestowed his mercy on all of us. Now, how do you realize that mercy? How do you understand that how this mercy works? Actually, when you start giving, when you distribute this mercy, you can actually see that how this mercy is working. The more you give, the more you realize that yes, this is what is Mahaprabhu's mercy working. So we need to somewhere be connected to this process of giving. According to time, place, and circumstances, we can actually commit in terms of what we can do to this whole process of giving. As I said, we can have, many of us are family people or grahasthas. We can open up our small little house, invite our friends and relatives, just do a little bit of introduction to this whole process of Krishna consciousness and start sharing. Start this process of giving. And you see, when their life transforms, and your own friends, your own relatives, they transform and they see that, being always in an anxious situation to just become more joyful. And they learn to depend on the Lord. And maybe we are not that dependent on the Lord, but when you see somebody new, they go through some of the challenges and see that how their life transforms, you get a new lease of faith in the whole process of Krishna consciousness, and you get so much faith in the Lord. And that's what is actually a life-changing experience in all of us. So unless we start this process, we are nice devotees, we practicing with sadhana, and actually at some point in time we become stagnant. As all of us know, that if it is stagnant, it's not a healthy sign. We are in and around the stagnant water, and we know it's not a pleasant smell anyway. It's like our Krishna consciousness cannot be stagnant. It's a dynamic process. It has to always be active. Krishna consciousness is a joyful activity. Are we doing or are we experiencing the joy of being a devotee of the Lord? So the question is that if this hits us hard, as devotee, am I experiencing the joy which I am supposed to? Or if you just look back and see the day when you came to Krishna consciousness, or how many number of days I just felt happy, blissful, dancing the kirtan, participating, distributing prasad, serving, cleaning the hall, whatever activity you did, how many times do you actually experience that happiness? And if at all we just experience that, do we at all actually want to retain that happiness for more number of days or more time? These are some of the questions as growing devotees we need to ask introspect. And this actually, give us more faith, and he actually uplifts us to higher levels of Krishna conscious understanding. Otherwise, we create our own boundaries. He's saying that I'm a devotee, no doubt, but I have this boundary. Beyond this, you just don't ask me to do anything. But actually, Krishna consciousness actually starts only when you cross the boundary. And many of us know, right? Till the time we chant Hare Krishna, we don't even know that what are we getting into. It's that I don't have time. And we know that many of you must be chanting Hare Krishna regularly, and I'm sure that more than 16 rounds or minimum 16 rounds. All of us didn't start directly 16 rounds or started chanting more than 16 rounds. We just somehow pulled out that 10 minutes time in our lives. And we don't know when. That 10 minutes actually has given more time. And this is what we actually see, that when we give something in the service of the Lord, we get more. Simple logic. We start chanting one round, and somehow we are chanting minimum 16 rounds today. And where we got the time? When we started, we said, I didn't have time. Somebody mercifully collected us, gave us, identified that how you chant and when do you chant this. And it's like very helpful when we started. Oh, no, I can't chant 16 rounds. Oh, you guys are dedicated. I don't have time. This is how we started. Okay, no problem, we just chant one round. How many times you eat every day? We start 3 times. Okay, similarly, just at least you give food for the soul, at least 3 rounds to chant, or 1 round. That's how we started. But now it looks 16 rounds, it's become very easy. And where do you get the time? Who gave the time? So you gave the time to the Lord, and the Lord gave back something in return. And because of that, we've done Krishna consciousness. So when you reach out, when you reach more souls, when you give Krishna consciousness to many devotees, and that's something which we need to learn from what Srila Prabhupada has demonstrated. One single person has created such an immeasurable impact in this universe. And when you see that people in all parts of the world, they all just connected on only one platform, which is Krishna consciousness. They all chant, they all dance, follow the 4 regulatory principles, and they feel happy about it. And they spread in their own way. And they feel happy. And we don't speak the same language, but they just follow the process of Krishna consciousness, and they actually spread this Krishna consciousness, they feel happy, and still reaching many millions of people. So, sometimes we need to reflect. Oh, it's this wonderful association. Very nice to be here. Beautiful temple, beautiful, nice devotees. Who create this association? Is it ready-made? Each one of us are responsible for this association. And if we have that gratitude and mood, that what Srila Prabhupada has actually handed over to us, and we just get into this mood of giving. It could be, as I said, we can draw our own boundaries saying that this is what I can, up to this I can go. But actually, when you stretch beyond that boundary, then that's when actually you start experiencing that bliss. Because that's what Krishna is saying. How much he is actually, stretching himself beyond what he can do. But we are in the comfort zone. And when we are in the comfort zone, obviously, our happiness, our levels of Krishna consciousness, our experiences, joy, everything, some point in time just get stuck there. So in an association, even if one person just gets into this mood of giving, it's very infectious. Immediately it just uplifts the whole association. And everyone just gets into the mode. How nice, wonderful, this devotee is great, he is doing such a great service. Giving his time, giving his effort, giving his resources, using the whole family, giving the place, whatnot. Everything in the service of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. So when we understand this, that we are chosen, we are actually eligible already. Already we got this mercy, costless mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is only that we need to realize by following and then just get into the mode of giving and reaching out as many souls as possible who are eagerly waiting. And this is what precisely Mahaprabhu is saying, that I am the lone gardener. How much I can distribute? I just want every one of you to take up this process, distribute as much you can. And when you do it, that's when actually we realize how we experience the joy of giving. And this is what is simple process of Krishna consciousness all about. We just chant, we practice, what we practice, we say that we share. And it's not necessary that you need to be an acharya to share somebody that you will chant Hare Krishna. It's a simple process. I chant Hare Krishna, I follow this, I feel happy. You want to try it? And see that how we are instrumental in changing and touching other people's heart so easily. And this gives immeasurable joy for you, and that actually gets you going further in the Krishna conscious process. And seeing you, and it's again a positive inflection that others also see, oh wow, this is working. I feel nice. You have a nice program, nice Krishna conscious atmosphere. Everyone gets involved. And the whole atmosphere so charged, and everyone can experience this process of Krishna consciousness. You know, it's like, yes, everyone can see that practical way of just experiencing Krishna consciousness is very nicely distributed. And this is what increasingly we see. When we do this small groups interactive programs, and we see many thousands of people taking this process, and their life transforms. People, as I said, they didn't even know whether God existed. Today, and they are wonderfully engaged, happily practicing, the whole family, their friends, everybody is in Krishna service. And in 10 years back, or even a couple of years back, they didn't even know who Srila Prabhupada was. And today, they were just singing the glories of Srila Prabhupada. How, if Prabhupada was not there, we would have still continued suffering. And we are fortunate that we know this fact, and we need to take it to the people who are actually waiting to take advantage of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So, increasingly, this is what is actually increases our burning desire to reach out to people, reach out to many people who are actually craving to be Krishna conscious. And we are going to make the change. And when we do that, we automatically actually become very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's what, at the end of the day, that when you do some process which is easily take us to, or easily take us and become closer to the Lord, why not we do it? Why don't we get ourselves, get involved in this, get going in this process? And that's what some of those, our journey being so far. I think, if we reflect on all of us, see that, how we can make this Krishna conscious a wonderful atmosphere, and it will change the way people live and change the way we think, and we naturally, automatically advance in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Any questions, any comments, any reflections?
Sorry to ask this question. How much percentage you get joy?
How much percentage
You get joy.
you get?
You are joyful when you do that process.
But I think it's relative. So I would look at differently to how much joy you don't get. If you look at the other side. Because it's like end to end. When you see a life transforms, what does he want? So it depends on what kind of service you do. I see. Let me give you an example. I was talking to a person who don't have any exposure to Krishna consciousness. They don't speak the same language, or we don't have anything in common. But just by understanding it within 6 months' time or 9 months' time, their whole, not only his life changed, but his whole family is transformed, and they become devotees of the Lord. And he's seeing this, that you see that how this whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is in enactment, and seeing that how Mahaprabhu's mercy is taking people who don't have anything prior. And it just increases our conviction in the whole process. And the whole journey of 6 months and interaction with such devotees and seeing their life transformed. Anyway, it's a joyful proposition.
In 6 months, do you think someone will transform?
Well,
They may in the process, but they will take time.
well, I think I can just give one more presentation on that, and I can connect you to people. That's what I'm saying. This is Krishna consciousness. This is what Prabhupada was saying. Maybe it's relative because somebody can change differently, but we see this is what happened, and this is what I observe. That's why I'm saying joyful. I'm not saying that it's not a story, but I'm saying it's a lifetime transformation in 6 months' time. And I was just sharing with some of the people with pictures. Yes.
How much force we should put on the new people to write our program?
How much?
How much force, how much we push them to write?
Well, I think, there's no question of putting force on anyone.
If they are coming,
See, we need to reflect, saying that if somebody is not coming, that we should try, we are not tried the way in which probably they would be inspired. Then the question is that, you just say, okay, I just tried a couple of times and why is this guy is not moving? So I just start putting force, it doesn't work. When you reflect back on us, our own life, that who actually, who brought us to Krishna consciousness, we have a conversation with them, just ask them that, how much tolerant or how long you are actually tolerant with us, then we realize that somebody was tolerant with us, waited long. So just depend on the situation, depend on the person, and what can actually help them better. Because the basic point is that if somebody can be Krishna conscious, just just once you speak, or just give some drop of books, or give them beads or prasad. But some people, that for years they will not be, which means basically they don't have that spiritual credit with them. So we can be responsible in increasing the spiritual credit, because unless it just fails to reach a particular level of spiritual credit, he or she will not just come and take up this process. So, sometime we maybe start keep distributing prasad for 6 months, 1 year, whatever it could be, or just put them on, chanting or in the association, whatever it could be, just to trigger and increase that spiritual credit. And when it reaches a particular stage, obviously, you said, okay, now one point you will see them, transform, changing, okay, I'm ready to accept. Till such time, we need to have some patience. There's no formula by which we can measure, saying that, oh, I spent 2 months and 21 days and this guy has to be, this. It doesn't work like that. It can be immediate, or it could, we need to go through patiently. And as he asked this question, we have seen people are just taking them transform in 6 months' time. And we also seen after 16 years also people are stuck in the same place. What can be done? Yes, please.
Well, could you give a brief explanation of what is Bhakti Vriksha and also how it interacts and relates to the temple?
Okay, interesting question. What is Bhakti Vriksha and how it is?
How does it interact with the temple itself?
How it interacts with the temple.
can you hold the mic a little bit closer?
Okay, sorry. And how it interacts with the temple. Is that the question?
The development of Bhakti Vriksha and how that relates to the temple simultaneously.
Yeah, because see, this whole Bhakti Vriksha process is, I'm sure that all of you understand when a devotee or any person come to Krishna consciousness, there are what we call 3 C's. 3 C in any center or any part of the world in ISKCON. When somebody come in contact with us, they become contact. It could be your friends, it could be your colleagues, it could be your family members. They are curious to know what you're doing, or you are curious to give Krishna consciousness to somebody, and they just come into the category of contact. From contact, that we need to slowly get them to taste this whole Krishna conscious process. So there is a very established process within ISKCON that how we give them Krishna consciousness in a metered dosages, so that they can digest and move forward gradually and systematically. So we slowly cultivate them, and when they are regular, when they understand, yes, I start writing this process, then we get them to commit. When we get them to commit, commitments means that yes, I like Krishna consciousness, I want to make this as part of my life. So when they are signing up for this stage, then we enroll them into Bhakti Vriksha programs. So this Bhakti Vriksha has got 6 principles, and which means that when anyone comes to this Bhakti Vriksha program, the 9th method, the 9th process of bhakti is embedded to this program, and it's an interactive program. So when as per the psychology, when you let the members speak, they said it and they committed and they take it more faster. And if I just keep on giving class, the retention level is very less. So when you create a small group and you make it interactive, and their uptake of Krishna consciousness is very high, and we can see the transformation in the commitment level increases very logically, very systematically. And in the whole process, you see there are 6 levels defined. First level consists of 8 weeks, and the second is consists of 12 weeks. So based on their taste, we are just slowly, gradually taking them to higher levels of Krishna consciousness. So when you cultivate and just get them committed step by step, and they are more productive resources for the temple. And based on their level of advancement, the services can be allocated, because if the new, you can't move them because they don't know what is services. They say, no, I come to the temple to take darshan. Okay, maximum that's what they can do. That's also service. We're not saying, because they came all the way to take darshan of the Lord. But when you have this Bhakti Vriksha as a line of preaching in the temple, we can see very systematically from a 0 level. If somebody walks in and they, from the cultivation stage, you just get them to, Bhakti Vriksha program, within say 60-70 weeks, you can see them, at a level that they know they understand the whole Krishna conscious philosophy, and they are in a way that they can just decide whether they want to accept start the process officially. When I say officially, they can choose the spiritual master to start their journey of Krishna consciousness. Now all these things will happen in a systematic way, in a timeline oriented way, which means that as the members progress, as they are inspired more and more, there is more of service, a lot of service generated. They are happy and joyfully engaging in serving the Lord in the temple, and the temple is grateful because they are doing services, and the temple is taking care of those devotees who are joyfully engaged in Krishna service. So it's like it's uplift the whole atmosphere, and that is what we actually everyone's are aspiring for and looking for, because they want Krishna, and in the temple we give Krishna. So it is like they give, you give, they give. So that's how it just wonderfully progresses.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. I hope that was. Yes.
At your temples, do you have programs that reach out to people who live far enough away?
So I probably can do a Bhakti Vriksha in the car if I have 3 more members in the car. So you're talking about distance, I'm talking about the time. I do Bhakti Vriksha in a van, because in BPO are many of the companies, IT companies in Bangalore, for 20 kilometer drive on a peak time, or I can't say any time is peak time. I don't know how many of you are from Bangalore here. I'm sure that they would endorse that from one end of the town to the other end of the town, it takes not less than 2 hours 15 minutes to cover 23 kilometers. And we actually, there are people actually, we introduce this concept. So they all log in online and they just put on their smartphone and they do a Bhakti Vriksha. So, time and distance is a question of, how do you utilize and how we are connected, because at the end of the day, people need to know where we get the source of strength. And we need to be connected to the source. That's very important. Then over a period of time, what happens is it withers away. And I can do, maybe I do not connected. So it's important that we understand where we get the source of strength. So it's not like, how they are, 30 miles away or 40 miles away, so they're cut off. But then what does cut off means? You're far, but you're connected. That's very important component of this Krishna consciousness. Like how our gurus, our spiritual master is not there. Srila Prabhupada is actually not on the planet, but still how much we're connected to him. We're always connected to him. So like that, you may have a program which is far, but how it is connected. That's what something which we need to think. Then that's where we get strength. I hope I answered your question. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Thank you so much, Chaitanya Avatari Guru. We worked very hard to get it here. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj had recommended that he come to Atlanta, and then Ramapad Maharaj also suggested. So after some effort, we were able to get Chaitanya Avatari Guru and Rasamayi Mataji sitting in the back. Is Vikendasha she there? Where is Rasamayi Mataji? She was here. But they traveled together as a tag team around the world, encouraging people to do Bhakti Vriksha. So thank you so much, Guru. Hare Krishna. I'd like to request Okay, so Janti Bhai is sponsoring the feast because he wants the prayers and the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. So if we could please raise both our hands. We're going to pray to their lordships, Shri Shri Gaura Nitai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi and Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan. Are we ready?
Yes.
Hare